So again, I'm relying on that third resource. You know, hopefully I'll get it again, but this time I need a sapphire. Or, I mean, I can buccaneer, but... Oh well. Nobody can make a judgment on that. I mean, it was early in the game, but I mean, he was down. He had to mulligan. He was down to like 3 cards. I had an answer to the Dreamer. I had damage I'd be getting through. If he didn't get the diamond, then the Dreamer was useless anyway for buffing his troops. So I mean, you know, and I had Call to the Grave, so I was going to be able to steal his wizard if I wanted. Yeah, that's really quite shit. Like, I don't know what he had in hand. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, he said something about he's going to have double card draw next turn, so he probably had a Mastery of Time, which I would have counted. And then his Dreamer would be useless because it would just do 3 damage, and the socket shouldn't trigger. It would, but it shouldn't. So, I mean, really, I had nothing to worry about. There was nothing at all I needed to worry about. I could counter magic or persecute, so I had answers. So, really, I think I would have been able to win that game. So, it sucks. Really sucks. So sitting in such a good position. Whereas this hand is okay. If I get another resource, sweet. You know, I can do Persecute plus Buccaneer and yada yada. But, yeah. Watch me just not get resources. Watch it happen. What a damn annoying bug. I've never had that bug before. Bloody Shards of Fate. I've seen someone else have it in the tournament as well, that bug. Where they, you know, I remember seeing the little, you know, choose a resource thing bouncing up and down as they tried to get rid of it. Bloody another turn 2 chosen. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of people who've had the bug before, but first time for me, and that probably cost me the game, that bug. Because I reckon I would have taken that. Especially with that counter magic and persecute and extinctions in hand. I mean, if my deck stalls out the game, that's good. So I wonder if it's going to bug out this time. Ay ay ay. So I mean, obviously I need a sapphire, but yeah. So I'll grab a sapphire. There we go, sapphire. Yoink. Alright, so now it doesn't bug out. It's like, yeah, you know, screw you, Havoc. So I can't even persecute, unfortunately, because, you know, I wanted to get the sapphire. I mean, I could have played the blood and, yeah. Yeah, just, it would have been next turn, you know, I can't do a 3-drop, so, unless I draw into another resource, which, you know, it's not guaranteed, so I want to make sure I have options available. This is annoying as well, because I got guests around, and, you know, I've been off most of the day. I was on earlier, but yeah, I got some guests came around, and I was hoping to get these games through pretty quickly, and then, you know, be done. So now they have to wait even longer, because the first game decided to bug out. So yeah, 3-drop. He went first again, the mongrel. I haven't gone first in ages, in like all the games I've been playing. I got the Tartar curse passed on. So he's thinking about what he wants to do. So I mean he could be he's thinking here because he wants to pretend he's thinking, do I want to leave resources open for a counter magic, which could be just a complete bluff. And he's now trying to sell that bluff. So he's like, oh, you know what? I can sit on my resources. You know, my opponent then plays something. You know, so he's, you know, just by thinking here, this could be just a really, you know, a long bluff. It's a long con, you know. He's like, you know, let's just pretend I'm sitting, you know, pretend, and that's like, even if he does decide to play something, it now, because he's taking so long, well, all the game's frozen, so because he's taking so long, and then if he does decide to play something, then, you know, that now makes me, he's implanted the thought that maybe he's got counter magic. You know, you always have to be worrisome when you've got an opponent on 3 resources open with 2 sapphire. But yeah. So, Wind Whisperer, exhaust target troop. Yeah, I mean, that's not really troublesome. But at least he's played something here. So I could bounce this back to his hand, I guess. Just means it slows him down a bit. I may even just draw cards, because I mean, taking 2 damage is not a big deal. So I may just do card draw. Or I leave the counter magic open. So there's one of my big drops for later. So I didn't really want to get him yet. New card added to the game. He's pretty awesome. So let's do that. So I've got a few options here. I mean, I leave counter magic open and persecute open, and that way if he plays a troop I can counter it if it's something I really want to counter, like a dreamer, or because I can, yeah, I think I won't leave it open, because I mean there's other more worrisome stuff in his deck, like he probably has Mastery of Time or Gralks, 5 drops that I can, countering a dreamer possibly next turn, which we know he has in the deck, which would be annoying with this sort of stuff here. So counter magic a dreamer would be a good thing to do, but I've got the persecute, so don't have to do that. So let's think about this. Do I want to get card draw, or do I want to get dude on the board? I think I'll just take the card draw now, and then next turn, he probably will play out a dreamer. Maybe I'll get into an extinction and a resource. That would be pretty awesome. And then he plays out a troop and I can get, so let's go for some cards. Because even if he does bring out a dreamer, obviously he can't attack in straight away. So I'm going to take the 2 damage. So I'm going for some cards. I want to think, a bit further ahead. Sure, I could have bounced him back, but I can, I can also bounce back the dreamer, for example. I can do many different things. So there's a resource. Unfortunately, it's a Shards of Fate. But that does mean, I've now fixed my resource, my thresholds. So wait, this spot is going down. Oh, all I saw was going down for maintenance. I was worried for a second there you were talking about the server. Weber in the chat there, just because I've got half of my game screen covering most of the chat. So all I saw was going down for maintenance, not bot is going down for maintenance. So I was like, oh no. It's alright, so I got a lot of cards. Whoops, I have to actually discard, so that was a silly thing. I did this actually yesterday. Too busy yakking, not enough attention. So that's pretty dumb. I did this again. So let's think, what do I want to get rid of? Silly Havoc. I mean, I've got many things to play, so I don't think I'm really going to be getting much use out of the Surge Mech, so let's just get rid of that. Oh well, I really got to pay more attention. That's one of my biggest things I do a lot. I just lose focus. I'm too busy trying to just talk. Trying to keep people. Like I would normally do. I mean, in a normal game. Just when I'm normally streaming, I like to obviously talk about all the different things and yeah. So and then I have this stuff like this where I just don't actually pay attention to what. Things like that. I mean, it's such an easy mistake to make. It's something I shouldn't be making, though, and I've done it. Did it in the games yesterday. It didn't matter yesterday. I did end up still winning. So he probably does have... Yeah, I talk too much. That's for sure. But, I mean, as a streamer, that's your job. You got to talk. Otherwise, you just... everyone's sitting there watching you, and it's just dead silence. Or, maybe... obviously, you don't have to talk as much as I do. Anyway, oh, shut up. Yep, so I did, I was correct. So unfortunately, if I do draw an extinction, I'm not going to be able to use it because of the fact that, well, I will be able to bounce this back to his hand, so that's okay. Because that, then he's going to want to get it back out. I could kill it. I've got the option there. Maybe, what, I've got a few options. But, so he is actually at the threshold this time. Anyway, sorry, I'll shut up. See what I draw. So I got a resource, so it doesn't really change much. I might as well use the Shards of Fate since I don't need the 4th. It's good that I got the resource because I want to be building up to Uranus or Uranus, yeah. So let's see. I think I'll just Buccaneer. He can't counter it. If I persecute, it leaves the persecute. The counter magic's open. The Buccaneer can then block. Yeah, I think that's the best choice here is the Buccaneer. Makes this a 5 cost now. And so if he wants to play it again, he's going to need to drop another resource. And that just, it's delaying. And that's what this deck does. It's a control deck with, ways to stall, and ways to just clear the board, extinctions and stuff. So, what an ideal situation here would be, I send this back to his hand. So let's do that. Let's make sure I don't screw it up. So I send it back to his hand. I now grab a blood. There's no point playing the other resource. So I grab the blood. So now I've got the 3 threshold here ready for this guy as well. But so yeah, now, ideally he now plays out the Dreamer again. And then because he's still got a good board position, especially if he gets the Dreamer on there. So he's probably thinking, well, sweet, he did a Buccaneer, maybe he can't answer my Dreamer. So if he plays the Dreamer here, and then I top deck like an Extinction, then I laugh my ass off and do, a really good trade. And that'll be awesome, because he's down to 4 cards, I'm on 6. He's got, he can exhaust this guy and get in some damage if he wants, which is only a little bit of damage. That would be no problems at all, but I'm hoping he does a resource plus Dreamer. That's what I want to see. So there's the resource. So he's going to probably attack first. Probably won't be attacking though, so he might. He can use this. It's no, he can't. It's cost a resource. So he can't. Yeah, he's got no attacks if he wants to play out the Dreamer. So yeah, he might have a Buccaneer of his own, and he's thinking, well, I could Buccaneer, but obviously you don't want to Buccaneer a Buccaneer. Because then I got my Buccaneer back, so that's not going to happen. So I'm expecting, he's thinking about what he wants to do. Maybe he's got a Mastery of Time, and he's thinking, well, if I use that, it doesn't really do him any good at this point. He could do a Gralk, which would tap my Buccaneer. He could then get in a little bit more damage. Not the best time for a Gralk, though. So there's the Dreamer, so that's exactly what I wanted to see. So now, if I get that amazing top deck of an Extinction, I would love it. So let's see what I get, because that would be really good. He'd be down to 3 cards, and I'd be still on 6. Well, I'd be on 5 actually, because I'll be playing a resource. But all I need to do is just get closer to this. The stall out the game, get this guy in play. Then I steal like his Dreamer, and I'm like, yeah, I got your own Dreamer, buddy. So yeah, this is looking good, and so far he's done what I wanted him to do. I can make him discard, and then actually I can make him discard a card, which is good, and then still kill the Dreamer. So that's probably what I will do if I don't hit an Extinction here. So there's a resource. That's good. Gets me closer to the Runez. So that is good. Now my other option is, so I play the resource. So I can leave the Counter Magic open. I can leave both of these open and do them both next turn. Or I can draw cards. I think it's probably best to, I get this on the board and then I just kill this. Because then all he has is this on board and he'll be down to 2 cards. We might not discard anything important, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to hit something, and it's not a resource, because he's been playing out his resources. I don't think he's going to have more in hand. I could draw cards right now, but I think doing the Corpse Fly is, I think that's what I'm going to do. So as you can see, I've clicked it, so that's what I'm doing. Leaves the Persecute open, so he now maybe loses a good card. He's got 3 cards, so he gets to choose which one. So it might not be too amazing, but we'll find out. Just a resource, so nothing too amazing at all. So now let me think. If I do the Persecute now, I need to Persecute, so I'm going to be killing this. So I'm going to do it now, just in case he has a Counter Magic ready. That would really be bad for me, so I kill it now while I can, before his resources are refilled. Otherwise I would be in a pretty big amount of trouble. So let's see, do I want to get in some damage here? No, he'll just probably double block and I get to kill 1, so no need to. Again, all this deck needs to do is stall, especially when I've got this in hand already. There is no need to get aggressive just yet. Because he's got 3 health on both units, he can double block, and I get to kill only 1, so it's a 1-for-1 trade, which not the greatest when, not a good trade. So let's, all we need to do. So next turn I've actually got, I can draw some cards, still leave Counter Magic open, so I'm in position here. And we still don't know what else he's got in hand. We know he's not going to have 6 resources, most likely, because he did throw one away. But, his board presence is, not that great. And yeah, we just don't know. But now that I'm going to be at 6 resources, I'm going to be drawing some cards. We don't know what I'm going to draw, on my draw step. But yeah, I'm feeling pretty confident about this game so far. I'm going to be able to ping him and just get a little bit more health. It's not really a big deal. So another Dreamer. Somewhat problematic, or very problematic, honestly. So that's not great. But it's not, it's not the end of the world just yet, as we know it. But it is definitely problematic. But I had to do what I did, I couldn't, maybe I could have persecuted and left the counter magic open. I guess I could have done that instead of the corpse fire, but I was hoping to make him discard something nice. But he did unfortunately have a resource. So I could, I could maybe draw another persecute. That would be pretty awesome draw right now. That would be really nice. But I mean, this is going to be a bit of a problem, but if I get this guy out, then I just start stealing, like I steal this, and then I have my own Dreamer. So that'll be fine. So I mean, it's still a very stressful situation because it does buff all his troops. But then if I get his one, then I start buffing all mine, and I'll be buffing this, and a big dragon if I can get this into play. So he's exhausting my fly here, so it can't attack, I guess. It's a bit annoying. And also, yeah, I mean, it's a bit annoying. Another counter magic, so not exactly what I wanted, but it's okay. I mean, counter magic's not a bad draw. So, I don't have to, I can draw, but I'm probably not going to be able to use anything I get. But if I get a persecute, I can leave the counter magic open, or and if he doesn't hit a resource, he's not going to be able to. Well, anyway, so let's do this. I mean, obviously, I'm going to do that. I'm going to stop talking too much. So 2 resources, so we can definitely play this guy next turn. So that's an upside, obviously. I mean, so he's probably going to be attacking in with all these next though, because he can, just tap this as well. Actually, we'll tap this guy, so there's no need to, unless he wants to get through an extra bit of damage. But I've got the counter magic open. He's probably going to attack first, which is good for him. But then I got this next turn, which if he leaves resources open, that'll be very troublesome, because then he could counter it, which would be really bad, because I need this to actually turn the game around. So maybe I can get a better draw and leave the counter magics open and wait till I can protect this from potential counter magics. How stressful. Hopefully he does play something. I mean, he's thinking, so maybe he's going to attack in and then he's going to play out something else. Or maybe he's going to play a troop first. Yeah, I mean, that's what he wants to do. He wants to get another troop on board, so this does more for him, because he's guaranteed to hit me. So he's guaranteed to buff troops. So if he gets 2 or 3 troops out here, like little weenies or something that he's been saving, then they all get bigger, and then I'm in a bit of a pickle. And I want him to play a troop. I really do want him to play a troop. So hopefully he's yeah. We'll find out. I mean, maybe he's watching my stream. He's like, oh, I better not. That would suck, but I really doubt it. But he's taking his time here. Which honestly, I mean, there's really... Okay, so that's good. Air superiority. He's still got 3 resources open, though. So that's not good. We didn't want him to... Bugger. I think I have to counter. I mean, he might counter my counter, but at least it gets rid of the counter. So I have to do that, because I do have another one. So please counter my counter. That way, at least I can get this out next turn. So I want him to actually counter this. Because I have to worry about... These Spectres have been... Spectres have been making in his deck for a while now. So it'd be great if he counters here. If not, that's troublesome. And he doesn't. So he's still got possible counter magic open. Bloody hell. He's watching me stream. Ah! So I hope he doesn't have a counter. I mean, he did think for a while there, so I mean, it does point to he was probably thinking, do I want to counter this? But then he might have something big next turn, and so I mean, I'm pretty sure he's got the counter magic, or it's just, you know, some really heavy mind games where he's, because I do think about these things way too much. But I mean, you got to think, you know, he's taking a long time there, so is he trying to bluff me by taking a long time? So yeah, this is troublesome. This +1 buff here. If I draw into an extinction, I'm using that shit for sure. Because not only can I counter his possible counter on an extinction, I can counter his counter. So because I will have 7 resources, and if I get an extinction, that will pretty much win me the game. Because Uranaz will take over completely. But at the moment, I'm in a bit of a pickle. So, especially if he's got, he's actually taking his time to think here, so I'm not sure. Okay, so he's deciding to give a troop flying, which is this guy. Fair enough, I mean, that tells me he's unlikely to have more troops in hand, because he's using it now on a troop that's not that great. Especially when this troop can actually deal with Uranaz. He can tap my dude each turn. So... is it a bluff? Is it not? I have no idea. I need to draw something nice. If I draw a resource, I'm going to be pretty upset. Life Siphon's not bad. It's not great either, though. I really can't afford Uranaz to be counted. I really can't. This is tricky. This is really tricky. This is a really sucky position to be in. I think I'm just going to have to try and do a 7 damage Life Siphon. That means he's going to get these guys buffed even more. He's going to get in 6 damage at minimum. Which, if he counters this suite, the counter's gone. If he has 2 counters, then that's just ridiculous. So I think I just try the Life Siphon, because if he doesn't counter that, then he... Yeah, I mean, this is really hard. Ooh. Take the risk, but if it does get countered, then I have, need to top deck an extinction. I'm probably going to need an extinction anyway. But if I can get this out, I can actually steal things. There's so many things I have to worry about. Like, if he has a Mastery of Time, it's actually just GG, most likely. This is a really sucky position to be in. Oh well, let's do that. See if he counters it. Probably going to be... Maybe he might even just take the damage, because, I mean, he doesn't need to counter that. Especially if he knows what I've got in hand. If he knows what I've got in hand, he won't counter this. This is really sucky. So he didn't counter. So either he didn't have it, or he, yeah. Oh boy. So he's probably gonna, he can now tap one of my dudes, so I won't be able to block. So should I attack here? No, because I just lose a guy for free. So it doesn't really do much, but then if I get another Life Siphon, I'll be able to do 1 damage there. This sucks. This really sucks. If he has the counter and he didn't use it on that, and yeah. But I mean, now I'm in the position where because he has the far superior board position, and I don't, it's so hard to get this guy out now because of the cost of it. Yeah, I'm probably going to lose this game. I mean, I can still chump block. Nah, I mean, I should be okay, but this is still 4 damage, he definitely gets through. He gets through another 2 damage with the flyer. He's going to tap that, but then I can still block there, which he probably doesn't want to lose this. You know, he doesn't want to lose that anyway. It is going to get buffed, and then he can attack with all 3 the next turn. But I did increase my health, so that's a good thing. But, I mean, now the fact that he is still sitting on the resources, yeah. This is very stressful, to say the least. But this is something, you know, I need an extinction. I mean, that's all there is to it. If I get an extinction, I can then extinct and counter his counter. And then I win, you know, I should be able to win the game from that. So he's got, I mean, he's probably going to be drawing Spectres at some point. Not just yet, but I mean, he's been getting them since, I think, turn 2. So as soon as that starts to happen, I'll be in a lot of trouble. So he's definitely going to attack in with these 2. So I'm going to take 6. So I'm going down to 17. Would really love an extinction next turn. I would literally fall off my chair. So for some reason he only attacked with that. So I'm not sure why. I guess he wants to be able to tap stuff of mine. But that's fine. I mean, this is a bit of an annoyance, but I'm gonna get 2 troops out in a moment. You know, if I get this guy out, I mean, he's probably not. Again, he doesn't need to play anything. He doesn't increase his board state. I'm the one who needs to react here, and unfortunately, you know, I can't play this out safely. So because of this, you know, that's why he's not going to obviously use his resources. Maybe he doesn't have the counter magic. At some point, I'm going to have to risk it because this is getting pretty nuts. Come on, extinction! Come on, extinction! Don't give me a resource. It's going to give me a Shards of Fate. I'm calling it now. Shards of Bloody Fate. So a Buccaneer is actually kind of useful. So, I mean, I'd really doubt he's going to counter this. He will probably... he might. Which would be pretty awesome, but I still can't, you know... Yeah, I mean, it slows down this annoyance, so that's a good thing. But the troops... The size of his troops is not a good thing. So let's bloody well do it. I'm going to have to. I mean, maybe this whole time I could have been bringing this guy out already, but it's not a risk I can really afford to take. And I mean, he thinks for so long, so maybe that's the best bluff ever. And he just sits there and let's just think on every card my opponent plays. I mean, it's a good thing to do, to just sit there and to think. You know, even if you don't have it, it is. You know, I'm not playing out the this guy because I'm worried about counter magic. Has he actually played a counter magic this game? Pretty sure. I don't know. I can't remember. I think he did last game in the one that froze. He might not even have it in his deck. Wouldn't that be a laugh? He's not thinking, just slow. I'm pretty sure he's thinking. So. Yeah. I mean, regardless of the result of this game, it's gonna be, you know, it's still a good match. But I'm really annoyed that that first game froze. Really annoyed on that. That really, you know, I was in such a good position. He was down to 3 cards and I had heaps. And I had, you know, the way to kill his dude. I had the counter. So annoying. I could have already been one match. Whereas now I might even lose the first one. You know, I'm in a. I mean, that helped me. That was a bit. That was a pretty decent. It was a decent pickup because it slows him down. And now, if he wants to actually replay it, it actually costs him. I think he can't even replay it actually. So, but he still does have. So actually, no, that's really good. If he can't replay that now, if he can, if he gets a resource and replays it, hallelujah! I get the big guy out. We get the dragon on the board. That would be quite amazing. Because yeah, I actually just realized that was one I already. I think I've. Either way, he's going to have to pay 5 to get it back in on the board at minimum. So that's a good thing because now he's not getting extra buffs, and I can chump block these. You know, he can't attack with this. I can double block. I can chump block here when I need to. I don't. Well, I can't. I can't because he keeps tapping the damn thing. But I've now successfully made the game. You know, I've now gave him a tough decision because does he want to replay it? I could then even counter it. which then, yeah, I mean, I maybe, how's he at, okay, so he's at 5 cards. But yeah, I mean, he's got a tough choice now. Because, yeah, I mean, this is not, I mean, the fact is, though, he has been getting Spectres since, like, the start of the game. So that's really bad for me. I mean, I do have this guy on the board, so that's a good thing. But, I mean, he's taking a really long time to think here, so he must have a counter magic. Because he's like, well, if I don't leave it open, then my opponent might do an 8 damage Life Siphon. You know, he'd be thinking about these sort of things. Like, Life Siphon would probably be his biggest concern. Because of the fact he's on 10 and I've got a 2 damage flyer, and that's why, you know, he has to keep tapping this. I mean, he doesn't have to, because, you know, it allows him to get damage in, but he can't really attack in with it, because then I can get 2 damage in and possibly do an 8 damage Life Siphon. So that's why he is thinking so hard right now. Because he has to think of all the different possibilities. I mean, I don't think he's going to expect this. But another Life Siphon is something you always have to be worried about against a blood deck. So, you know, Life Siphon's always... You know, I've only got 2 in this deck. Because it's not something you want to really get early. Unless you really need that heal. Which, you know, if you do, then you're not controlling the game good enough if you need it early. So you really don't want to get it early, so that's why I've put 2 in. It's a good thing for, again, you know, if they counter magic it, then... so that's beautiful. So he's done it. So do I want to counter this? I mean, it is a 5/5, so yeah, I probably should. It does mean I won't have a counter magic, but it does mean I'm getting this guy out on next turn, so... Actually, I can steal his 5/5, but I think there is a bug where it will be reverted, so that'll be annoying. And I won't even get the effect from it, actually, come to think of it, because I don't have diamond. Actually, no, I will, because it's buggy, so that's a bit of a problem here. So bloody bugs ruining the game. So, I mean, I have to counter this. I cannot afford to, you know, especially because I'm not going to be able to extinction next turn after I play this guy. You know, I don't want to lose him, so I have to counter. I mean, he probably knew I had it, but now at least his other ones are going to cost 6. He's not at 6 resources, but he's probably going to be drawing Spectres. I mean, this is really a problem here, because if I steal this, which I'm definitely going to, if because I don't think he's got anything else I can really take. Yeah, he's just got Dreamers, so he's got 7 cost Dreamers. So I mean, obviously I'm taking this. You know, I'm not going to not take it, but I mean, that it's probably now put me in a very good position. You know, I've probably turned this game into my favor now. You know, because I can definitely get this on the board. I can take out a Dreamer. And then he doesn't, you know, he's most likely not going to have... I mean, he's still in an okay position, because he's got this guy, and he might have a Menacing Grub for next turn, and all that sort of stuff. So I'm not sure why he's taking so long here. I mean... But yeah, I mean, all I need is basically another Life Siphon. He won't be able to tap both my flyers. You know, a few more resources, I can get him down to 8. Or, you know, even if I draw a resource, and then a Life Siphon, I win. So I'm at 20 health, and I'm going to have Uranaz on the board, plus a Dreamer. So, you know, I've probably got this game in the bag now. But yeah, he is being very slow here. Maybe he's talking to his audience as well. I mean, you know, as a streamer, that's what you do. But I mean, at this point, yeah, he's faking counter magic again with 0 resources. Maybe he drew the Corey Jones card that I talked about the other day. Maybe he's the first player in Hex to ever draw it. So let's see what I get him. And he's on 0 resources. If I get a Life Siphon, I'm using it. But then again, maybe not, because then he might counter this guy, which this guy's probably more important to have on the board, because that will get me 2 Dreamers. So, yeah. Sinking. So, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure, because he can't counter my Dragon here, I mean, he could Time Ripple it and then counter it when I try to replay it. You know, he could have a Buccaneer and all that sort of stuff, because he doesn't want a Buccaneer of these, obviously, but I am going to still get a troop. So I did get a resource, so that means, you know, if I get a Life Siphon... anyway, here we go. Uranaz. Sorry, what's this comment here? Is already mana like in Magic. No, it's not the same as Magic. I'm not going to... I'll let someone else in the chat explain the differences between the mana and the thresholds. I mean, it's a better system than Magic the Gathering. Also, you don't have to sit there tapping lands. So, yeah. I have to be careful with this because it is pretty buggy. So he says prob GG there, which, you know, probably is. So I'm going to take the 5/5, which actually I think will be buggy. I think it gets reverted. Yeah, so he got reverted. So there's a few bugs here. I mean, this card by itself, just the fact that he's using a different color gem in it, causes issues. Anyway, so let's see. I could push through some damage here, but I'm down on no cards. So let's just again, I don't have to. I can draw a life siphon and that'll be pretty awesome. But I can now attack in with this. He can't stop it. And if I do draw a life siphon, he's going to have to counter it. Because this is going to get me 3 damage. Will also make my other dudes bigger, which it shouldn't. But hey, that's not my fault. But yeah, I mean, it's probably... So I knew he'd get some Spectres, so that's good for him, because he gets blockers now. But yeah, I mean, I can't really attack with this, because he's just going to tap it. So I'm just going to have to attack with this. So this is actually really, just skewing with the results of the game, because I really shouldn't be getting the +1/+1 effect. The same as like in the first game where I was forced to, I couldn't not let, in the first game that bugged out. Had he, had I not killed his Dream, he would have got the benefit as well when he shouldn't have, because he wasn't at 2 diamond yet. But yeah, I mean, so it's yeah. I mean, I have to attack with it. I'm not going to steal a troop and not attack with it. I mean, that would be silly. But yeah, I'm the good thing for him is I'm down to top decking, so yeah. This is a problematic game. I mean, he could just get a ton of Spectres out, but I got this, so it would kill him in 4 swings, and he can't really stop it unless he gets it in a conflict. Yeah. So he's got another dude. So if I do actually draw a life siphon here, that'll be good, because he won't be able to counter it. But anything could happen at this point. If I draw an extinction, I'm just going to bloody use the damn thing. Wouldn't that be funny? Yeah, like I was saying, if I attack with this, which it's my only way to get guaranteed damage in, it's going to buff up these guys when it shouldn't be. So this is just really the game's complete. I mean, he might just tap it. Yeah, he is. So that's okay. So he's stopping me from attacking with it. That's fine. So I've got a Corpse Fly. Makes him discard. Obviously, I'm going to play it. I mean, it's the only card in my hand. Did tap this, so I could attack in. He could then double block, and then I lose it, which actually would benefit him greatly. So I think I basically just wait and get that life siphon, or I've got a Grulk. Like a Grulk actually would be the best top deck ever. Then I just win. So there's no point doing any trades yet. He's not going to be attacking either, I guess. On his turn, he can actually. Well, yeah, I can block that guy. I mean, he can't tap all my flyers, so... Anyway, I'll just stay defensive, because, the longer this goes, the better for me, especially if I top deck a Grulk. Menacing Grulk, what it will do is I play it, he then counter magics it, and then I go, fuck. No, but really, if I can get it out, and he doesn't have a counter magic, which he most likely does, but, I mean, he's definitely going to get more Spectres. He could get a bloody big chain as well. Which would be annoying, but then it won't matter if I get a Menacing Grulk, which I've got 2 in the deck. Then I just get 3 fatal damage and I win. So, because yeah, I mean, if I get a Grulk, he can only tap the 1 guy. So, say for example he keeps tapping this, I then play out a Grulk. So that's pretty good for him, because now he can pretend to go. He can still counter magic, but then also give this flying and buff it, and that's a problematic for me. But again, I mean, I could... At the moment, he's got... he can't really be attacking in, I can't really be attacking in. We're in a bit of a stalemate. If I draw a Menacing Grulk, he'll probably counter-magic it. But, I mean, if I draw it and I get to play it, then I win. Like, if it hits the board, I then get to hit in for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And then they don't untap on the next step, so, it'd be even... there'd be no way he could not die from a menacing Grelk. So if I draw it, I might have to not use it straight away because of that counter magic that he's possibly had this whole game. Yeah. So let's see what I draw. I mean, I could also draw like just some basic removal. There's many things in the deck that actually would be a pretty good draw here. A Life Siphon would be good, followed by a Grelk, because Life Siphon would force him to counter if he's got one, and then the Grelk, the next turn follow up would win me the game. I mean, it is possible he's got 2 counter magics in hand, but I do need to do something soon because these Spectres in his deck are probably at around 20 plus. No, probably around 30. There'll probably be actually about, I would say 25, maybe more. Probably 25. I don't know. Depends on who's had more card draw this game. Anyway, see, I'm down to 39, so if you add in, say he was at, so that was a shit draw. That's like a terrible draw, so we'll keep hold of it. I mean, it does me nothing by playing it. It doesn't even get me a charge power, so I can't put him to 9. I mean, if I was to use it, I get to 10 resources, and then, if I did draw a Life Siphon, it would be fatal. So, it's not completely rubbish, but yeah, I mean, if that was to happen, I was to draw a Life Siphon, obviously I'll just play this, and then next turn, try to do a fatal Life Siphon. So I mean, yeah, he has to keep tapping this guy, so this can't be aggressive. This he will start buffing, so I mean, he can only do 2 buffs a turn, so it's not a big deal. So I still don't have to worry about any aggression really. I mean, if he gets a menacing Grelk of his own, which is unlikely because he's got a bajillion Spectres in the deck, like he's probably going to Spectre Chain, which will be problematic in itself, but not if I get a Grelk or whatnot. But he probably will be leaving 3 resources open every turn, especially when you got this guy that you can just buff. I was hoping these games would be quick. And this is still the bloody first game. But yeah, there's no... I mean, he could also have a Heroic Inspiration, so if I attack into him while he's got this guy there, then he kills this and he heals for 11, which is not what I want to do. So, but I'm just going to keep waiting until... I mean, he could also have a Repel, a Heroic. He might not have a counter. I mean, he probably does have the counter. I mean, he's been bluffing that for a bloody long time. So, I mean, I've got this in hand now, so he's actually worried that I might have a quick action. That I could, because he's not even yes, he didn't even buff this because he's worried about a possible quick action, so that would cost him the game. There's a few things that I could possibly have done that would be bad for him. Like I could even just persecute in response. So keeping this in the hand was the right decision. You always want to make your opponent think, especially he didn't buff because maybe it's a persecute and he loses his dude. So he's actually, I mean, this game is not going to come down to time. It's definitely not going to come down to time. I can guarantee you guys that much, because he's got Spectres, and they, if he just, so he's playing out another totem, so then he'll probably just leave his resources open still, because, I mean, he's very likely to have a counter magic. So, yeah. I mean, if I do hit a Life Siphon, I'm going to use it. I'm going to make him use that counter magic. I mean, if he's got 2 counter magics, then that'll be quite ridiculous, especially when he's basically just should have 1,000,000 Spectres by now. So I'm probably going to get a resource, though. It's generally what happens for me. So he's going to tap this guy again. I mean, he has to because it's unimpeded damage. So it's an Inquisitor. So that's not bad, because that just means another thing that he has to leave a blocker back for, otherwise I get card draw. So yeah, I just play him out. Add to the board. This game really. But now I've still got this in hand. I've still got the 6 resources open. So I mean, he could counter this, but we'll see. Because I can just start swinging with this and make him trade, which is resources. Like if he wants to do a like a swift strike, you know, I can. But yeah, I mean he's gonna have 6, so probably not gonna be anything beneficial there. But yeah, so we just want to keep holding on to this to. He could be holding a resource as well, but I think he probably likely has a heroic inspiration because it combos really well with this card. So he probably is running it. Combos with these as well because you can give them life drain and then heroic, and then you're just like ho ho ho, thanks for the heals. And letting him heal at this point would be really bad for me. So you know I'm not going to attack unless I can get through unimpeded. So even attacking with this would be a bad idea because he could heroic. Like it would make him use resources, but then he's at a lot of health, and that would be bad as well. So yeah, we don't want to be attacking in really, except with this guy. Let's actually have a look at this guy. So when he does combat damage, anyway. So bombs. I'm surprised there's no specters coming out. So he's actually drawing cards, so that's not good because now, I mean, he might get some specters, but he probably won't play them because they don't change the board state. I mean, I still can't attack. And then he has to leave 3 resources open. I mean, I know it, he knows it, we all know it. Even if it's just a bluff, he needs to leave them open. Because if I get... I've got 2 Masteries of Time in the deck, which actually wouldn't really help me at this point. Well, I mean, it kind of would, because then this guy would untap and I'd get damage in, and these guys would get bigger and all that sort of stuff. But a Grelk would be much better. So he's got another resource there, so he's up to 7. So this is getting problematic. But he still can't buff these yet because he wants to leave the counter magic open. So, and there's a Spectre, so that still leaves him the counter magic open, and he draws another card, which is probably more Spectres in hand. So he's down to 2 there. Played a resource, so he might not. I mean, I could be worrying all this whole time about nothing. But yeah, I mean he's got 14 minutes and 40 seconds left. I got 17:23. I mean he's taking a long time every turn. It's a pity I'm not running Misfortune because I could just make him discard both those. Then he has to counter, and then I could but that wouldn't really affect the board state at all. So that wouldn't be that great either. Yeah, I don't know what turn it is. There's no turn clock to tell you what turn each player is on, and but you can definitely see the time he's taken. So he's down to under half of his time, but I really don't see this game coming to a time that would be bonkers. Well, since he's taking so long, I'm going to actually get a drink and check on my guests. So I'll be back in a moment. Alrighty, I am back. Just let my dog outside, and my guest's actually heading off now, which I don't blame them. So yeah, just seen them out. So what was I doing? So past priority, I guess. What's this stupid program just opened on me? Shut down input director. What the hell? Anyway, this is a stressful game. So I'm still in front of time even after taking like 20 years. So I probably actually should have typed to him. I forgot to even type anything. Oof, an extinction. I should probably just use it. That'd be funny. Oh well, it's a backup. It's a backup in case this gets Oh, he didn't tap my guy. Oh, maybe he was AFK. I'm gonna guess he could. Ooh. Yeah, maybe that's actually. That's yeah. I mean, he would have done it if he was. Actually, no, he can't afford to do it because he's only at 3. Oh, so he can't tap the dude, so I can attack in with it because he. That's if he's got. He's been. But yeah, I mean, I guess that kind of does tell me that he must have a counter magic here. Because he didn't tap, which he's been doing this whole time. But then again, this guy's buggy, so I mean, it's gonna buff my guys when they shouldn't be buffed. So this is like, I don't know what to do. Honestly, I don't know if I should attack. I need some sort of judgment here. I mean, I've stole his troop. You know, I want to be fair. I don't think I should be attacking with it, but then I've stole a useless troop, and it's really not. You know, it's not my fault. I mean, otherwise I'd be getting in 3 damage. I needed, you know, official judgment though. Tournament rules or something. So I know, yeah, it's gonna put me at a disadvantage if I don't attack with it. I mean, it's only 3 damage, and I guess these are still. It does skew with the game though, and you know, I don't want to do that. I mean, if Soldak or someone was here, I could. I mean, my clock is now under his, but I'm gonna actually open Skype because I want to see if I can get someone's judgment on this. I mean, I'm at a disadvantage because of it, but then he's at a disadvantage if I get the buff. I'm only going to get the 1 buff, but I'm going to open Skype. I mean, yeah. Let's see if anyone's online. So Soldak's online, but I don't think he'd be up at this, like, his time. I mean, I'm pretty sure he'd be in the channel if he was online. So this is really sucky because again, my clock is ticking. It's on my turn. I guess yeah, we can. That's it. Yeah. Thanks, Ellie. I don't know why I didn't think of that. So yeah, let's pretend he's on 7 health. So I don't need to play that as well. So yeah, let's just pretend he's on 7. So, yeah. Sorry, I should have thought of that. I mean, that's normally something I probably would have done in a game, but I mean, this is such a stressful game because I mean, if it gets to a point where he just has too much on the board, I just extinct. I just go F this game, and then he gets a billion specters, and then I go shit. Because I mean, really, that's probably what's going to happen. But he's on 7. So if he doesn't leave the resources open to, I mean, he must have a cannon magic because of the fact that he didn't tap that time because he was on 3. And he hasn't been buffing these. He hasn't been doing a lot of things. So either it's just the most epic bluff known to mankind. Because, I mean, honestly, if he does not have a cannon magic, and this has just been a bluff the whole game, you know, I could have had an earlier turn. I could have played this a turn earlier. All that sort of stuff. If he's been bluffing this whole game, you know, obviously I have to worry about these things, and I can't. It's not a risk I could have afforded to make by playing this out in case he countered it when I did. But yeah, now he gets Spectre Chains. But yeah, it's not, like I said, it's not really something I can afford to risk. But now we're pretending he's on 7, so he's probably not going to do, because he wants to tap this, because otherwise, you know, I get another 3 damage in. So yeah, he's on 7, so let me actually make a note. He's on 7 HP. Alright, run it down. What a game, this is crazy. This really is crazy. But yeah, I mean, if it gets to a point where, say I draw a Menacing Growl, I can be like, Extinction, and then he's like, ooh, I must counter this, so he then counters it, maybe not. And then if he doesn't have a counter magic and I blow up my own dudes when I like draw a Menacing Grelk or something, that would be pretty hilarious. So actually he's going to bounce something, so there's nothing really great for him to bounce. So what will he bounce? That is a good question. Maybe just this. Yeah, probably that. Yeah, so he's bouncing that, so fair enough. So yeah. These games have taken too long. My guests have left. Like, fuck you, Havoc. We're going. See you, man. They weren't like that, though. But what's my clock at? It's another thing I have to worry about here. Because I took so long waiting for just trying to, like, think of a solution to that problem. Why is my clock at 13 minutes and what? Alright, so it's resyncing, I guess, because yeah, it does. It makes a bit more sense because he was quite a ways. Yeah, I mean that makes a bit more sense there that my clock is. Maybe it's going to resync again, and maybe my clock is under his. I don't know, but we'll find out. So he's on 3 again, but he doesn't need to tap my guy. So let's see what I draw. He's just going to keep getting specters. I need an Omen of Oblivion, which is a banned card, so I can't, you know. An Omen of Oblivion, though, would be pretty awesome, for obvious reasons. Like, you can imagine me just taking out all those specters and being like, phew, and then I can extinct, and, you know, then he gets no more specters. So yeah, I'll do that. I then replay this for, it looks like I'm going to be playing it for 5, because look, there's another reversion bug. But anyway, so I'll play that back out so he gets to tap it some more. Also, actually, one thing to note is this should have been a 5/5, so really he should be, he would be on 6 right now. He should be on 4, technically, because that was a 5/5. So technically, he should be on 4 health. Is that right? 7, 6. I put him down to 6 from the charge power. So really, he should be on 4. So yeah, I mean, this might not matter, but I mean, if all I do is draw resources and I get in 4 damage through charge powers, I could, you know, because technically he should be on, 4. But all these different bugs in the game, obviously, you know, it's alpha, so it does screw with the results. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if he's gonna, you know, I've typed to him there, so technically he should be on 4 health because this would have done an extra 2 damage on the attack that I would have got through. And because it, you know, it should still be on 5, so technically if he doesn't tap this at any point and I get to swing again, like fake swing, then I win. You know what I mean? So... So yeah, I mean, obviously he's going to have a lot of specters very soon. But yeah, I mean, again, he has to keep getting tapped because he should be at 5. My opponent should be at 4 health now. So, I mean, we've got the game recording and all that sort of stuff, so we can actually see. Oh, I got a phone call. Give me a sec. Alrighty, I'm back. Um, so he's leaving 6 open, which, you know, maybe he's got, I don't know, 2 counter magics now. That would be very unlikely. But I guess he didn't get more specters, so now he taps this again. So, I mean, I don't know if we're pretending he's on 4 health or on 6, so I'm going to write down both. I mean, maybe this game, you know, it might come down to a judgment later on. Secret Lab's actually a pretty good draw this late into the game. So, I wonder if he'll counter this. Probably not. That's if he, you know, if he's been bluffing this whole time. I'm going to kill myself. You'll never see me again. This game has gone way too long. Ooh. That doesn't really do me much, though. Doesn't really do me much here. I mean, I could do it, but what does it do me? Nothing. Like, what it will do is actually untap this guy, and then, you know, so if he does have a counter, and, you know, it all depends on if we're treating this game as if he's on 4 health or not. This really sucks. Because I mean, yeah, I'm really tempted to use this. But then, you know, because I don't care too much if it gets countered, but if it doesn't, then I get to do fatal damage. So, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, this is very problematic. I don't know. This really sucks. I really don't know what to do. And if I hit enter now, it's probably going to skip my thing, so I can't actually bring up the chat. So I don't know if he's saying, you know, if he's going to say, yeah, let's pretend I'm on 4. Fudge it. F this all. This is really getting annoying. So let's just see what he does. Let's see if he... Because, yeah, I mean, this would be fatal right now if he doesn't... Okay, so he has had a counter magic this whole bloody time. So at least... Well, I mean, potentially this whole time. He might not have... He might have had it recently, which is unlikely, but... I mean, so... At least... if he's got another one, I'm really... Truly going to kill myself. No, this is a good game. I mean, it's a good game with lots of problems and lots of like, what's happening? But anyway, so I don't know if we could still be on 4 health. I mean, this guy should be a 5/5. Oh well, anyway. So hopefully I can draw something nice and win this. I'm still on 21 life, but... So yeah, anyway, hopefully, you know, like I'm saying, hopefully it makes no difference. If you know, because if I get a life siphon and he doesn't have another counter magic, then I win, regardless if he's on 6 or 4. I think this is still the first game. Well, you know, technically it's the second, but the first one bugged out when I had a pretty good hand. Anyway, I mean, this... let's hope it doesn't screw with it, so... Hopefully it makes no difference. I mean, if he has... You know, he's soon going to have, you know, a million specters. And these totems are going to get bigger and bigger and all that jazz. Actually, he's gave it life drain, so he's actually going to get more health back. So that's not good. Because, yeah, him getting life right now is bad. I might have to do something really risky next turn, like try and extinct or something, because these totems are actually going to be pretty problematic. I mean, he could buff this up to a 5/5 right now, and then attack, and that gets him life, which is not good. And let's see, so he gave it life drain and flight. So hopefully, you know, I actually think I do need to extinct, and hopefully he doesn't have a counter. Because these totems with the life drain actually will put him in a good position. So let's actually see what he does here. So he's giving it probably +1, yep. So is he going to go further? Yes, he is. So is he going to do 5/5 and then attack? That's not good. He is. So he definitely doesn't have another counter magic because of that. But now he gains life. If he attacks. I mean, I can still trade. He didn't give it Swift Strike, so I could trade here. But then he gains the 5 life, so he goes up to more health, obviously. So that's not good. Calm down, Bella. Stop it. Calm down. I know this game is really frustrating, Bella. You're just like, hurry up and end it, Hammock. I mean, if I draw a Menacing Grelk, next turn I just win. Even if he heals for 5 here. So, I mean, that's what I think I need to bank on, just getting a Menacing Grelk. Because even if he heals for 5, I'll still have, let's see, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 possible damage. So if he does attack, I will probably just let it go through. So he's attacking with 2, so that's a bit of a problem. I can block that most likely. This is fucking annoying. I mean, I have to block it. I don't want to lose. I mean, if I lose this guy, I lose him. I'm gonna risk it. I mean, he's getting more life though, which is what he wants. But again, this is where that 4 life and the 6 life could be the difference of everything right here. And if he has a combat trick and he kills this, that's also a problem. I doubt he does though. So yeah. So now he's technically on... He just healed for 5, 6, 7. So if we're saying he's on... So he's either on 11 HP or 13 HP, I think. Is that right? Because he healed for 7 and he was saying he was either on 6 or... Anyway, so... Again, this is still a problematic, this totem. So if I don't draw something good here... 5. Oh yeah, you're right. Sorry, it was 3. So he's healed for 8. So then he's on 12 or 14 health. Sorry, 12 or 14. So yeah, sorry, I'm just failed at math. Failed at math. So I can secret lab. So hopefully draw. There it is. So let's see. Now this is where the game could be totally skewed. Actually, I think that just wins because I get to attack twice, and he's got no. Yep, I think I've just won. Oh my god, because I get to attack twice, remember? Because he doesn't untap on his turn. GG then it is, so yeah, because that's another thing. I was actually thinking before that I actually need to win with the first attack, but again, they don't untap, so... Oh my god, that game was spastic. But yeah, because they don't untap, that means I actually get like 20 something damage in. Oh my... So I guess he's now gone to sideboard. Oh boy, stop challenging me. So let's sideboard myself. Oh my god, that was mental. So, oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So let's see, my sideboard. Now, he didn't have any offensive removal. You know, he's in Sapphire. I mean, he can bounce stuff. So I think I've got 1 Eternal Guardian in my sideboard. So let's actually bring that in. Don't know what I'll take out for that yet, but oh my god. Oh, what a game. That was nuts. I really honestly cannot believe it took so long. That was like, it's been like an hour, or no, probably more. I have no idea. It's been a long time. I think I'm like 30 years. Alright, I can close Skype now, because that didn't actually, you know, the health and all that issues didn't affect the game. You know, I was able to do a lot of damage thanks to that Grelk. So I'm definitely leaving the Grelk in the deck. So I've sideboarded in one of these. I need my removals, that's for sure. Call to the Grave. I mean, it's good, because again, I can steal his stuff, like a Wizard or a Dreamer, but then they stuff reverts, so that's problematic. So I'll take that out. Let's think here. So I'll tell you guys my sideboard. It's an Eternal Guardian, 2 Chaos Keys, 3 Cosmic Totems, 4 Time Ripples, 4 Murders, and 1 Counter Magic. So I could add another Counter Magic in. But yeah, let's see. Murder, Time Ripples. So, I mean, I could throw the Murders in, because then anything that gets buffed, I can still kill them. But if it gets to that point, you know, hopefully I've got other answers. I mean, I could take out the Buccaneers and add like 4 Murders, and just have heaps of removal. That might not be too bad, because then I could either murder or counter magic in turns, you know. If I've got, you know, again, you need the thresholds. Sorry, my dog is being a pain. Actually, I'm going to take a quick break, because my dog is, I guess, wants to go outside again. So, where is my thingamajiggy? I put my be right back message. So yeah, I'm gonna let my dog out and then I'll fix up my sideboard. So if anyone is actually in the game and can just tell him that I'm just letting my dog outside. So yeah, I'll be, or if you're in his stream as well, just let him know what I'm doing. So be right back. Alrighty, I'm back. So my mates are actually coming back around with a movie, so I want to be quick because they just texted me and I was just talking to them. So yeah, I want to get this next game quickly. Hopefully this next one doesn't take another hour. Because yeah, we were planning to watch some movies. So yeah, let's see. Do I want to sideboard anything else? I think I'll just that'll do. That'll do. Maybe it's a mistake. Maybe I should add an extra counter magic and take something else out. I guess I could take a Buccaneer out. Buccaneer's not bad though. Let me check my sideboards. I do have the one counter magic, so bugger it. I don't know. Alright, I'm doing it now, so let's just do it. I mean, counter magics were pretty brutal in that game. Pressure. Oh, sorry, thank you. Thank you very much, Sifa. So, do I want 3 counter magics? Because then if mine gets countered, then they all cost more. Buccaneer could get countered there as well. Yeah, it's gone. Sorry, Ellie. And Sifa. I could also change the champion. Because this didn't do me too much. I mean, I guess it did kind of, but wasn't... my dog's drinking some water. I wonder if you guys can hear that. So I could do the draw a card thing. I'll just leave it. Maybe I could also... I have run this deck with the flying thing, but I mean, it does only help, really, the Inquisitors and the Buccaneers. Which, you know, having it on the Inquisitors is good, but my opponent's running a lot of flyers, which, you know, then he could block them, but... You know, I'm hoping to remove stuff anyway to give him room to give me card draw. You know, with all my removal I have. So... Anyway, let's not think about it too much. My opponent is waiting. Really stressed out here. Bloody mate of mine, I think broke one of my laptops just before as well when he was here. Anyway, bloody bastards. I literally feel like I've aged like 50 years. Like I'm already an old man, but I'm not even older now. You know what? Fuck it. Going back to the Buccaneer. Let's just do that. Maybe I should get the flying. Alrighty, so let's make sure these are still socketed. Anyway, I'm taking too long. Let's Alright, here we go. Thunderfly is the deck. It used to have Thunderbirds in it. I can't rename the deck though. Bloody dog. Being naughty. Just gave her a treat and now she decides to eat my pillow. What a mongrel. Uh-oh. Come on, resources. Resources, 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 resources. Not the right resources. I can risk it. I can risk it because I still have the 3... it's probably not enough. Ooh, this is tough because I mean I could mulligan into something even worse where I might draw resources. If I get one more resource then it'll be okay. I'm going to need 2 more blood though to be able to do the Extinction and the Inquisitor. The Buccaneer can slow him down a little bit. Not enough though. But then if I get one more resource I can card draw hopefully into more resources, and what I'll probably end up doing is drawing myself into another discard. Especially if this has the potential to really screw me. So I mean this is tough. This is really tough. I'm thinking of drawing this again. Because yeah, I mean it's not bad if I hit a 3rd resource. And then, you know, when I hit, yeah, I mean, it'll be really good because of the Extinction and the Buccaneer and the Inquisitor is pretty good. Bugger it, let's just keep it. I'll probably regret this, but whatever. We gotta believe in the heart of the cards. I'm gonna do it. Believe in those cards. So he kept his hand, so... Again, I've got 2 more turns, 2 draws until it becomes problematic. You know, if I miss the next 2... the next one I'm going to obviously play a resource, so if I don't get one there, if I miss the none after that, that's where it starts getting bad. Like this, that's where I'll be in a very bad position. So he's doing a Shards of Fate, so no turn 1 chosen. Probably going to be another turn 2 chosen. He's done that every game so far. But yeah, if I draw a Blood here, or a Sapphire, I mean a Blood would be much better obviously, or even a Shards of Fate would be good. I just need a resource. You know, I've taken a pretty big risk here. If I miss resource, you know, I don't have to get it right now, but I'd like to get it now just so I can feel better. I can feel secure in the knowledge that I will have turn 3 plays. So, heart of the cards. Sometimes you just gotta believe. Gotta believe. Believe it. Alright, let's do it. Blood, chuck it on the board. 1 damage. I win the game. Hooray. It's the Corey Jones trigger. Boom. Alright. So that was good. That's obviously very good now. So now I've got my Sapphire, you know, so if I draw a counter magic, I'll be able to do that. If I, also a cool thing to know, I actually went first this game, so that's pretty cool. Because that gives me a little bit more time to get to those resources. So again, he's not going to be doing, well, he could still do the turn 2 chosen, because he does have the, but he's not going to be doing a 2-drop. If he does a turn 2 chosen, I'll flip out. Just wait, my dog is being naughty. Little mongrel. Bloody Jack Russells. Oh man, I'm so stressed out after that first game. I honestly am. I've probably got my hair's probably gone all grey. So unfortunately, I can't. Oh, I can draw cards 6. So I get into. So good. I don't have to discard this time. I looked. Hallelujah! I paid attention. So I'm actually in a pretty good position now, especially if I draw blood here. Oh, jeez. Not the best thing to draw. 8 drop already, along with the 5 drop. But I mean, I got some 3 drops, but I still need another blood. So again, let's keep believing in the heart of the cards. If he plays out a troop, I can Buccaneer at least. But I would really love to be getting a blood next turn. So he's now got Sapphire Met, so he might have... okay, so there's that Lorgoyle that he played out in the first game that ended up bugging out. Which I really feel like I was in a good position, but oh well, I mean... It's Alpha, it's bugs out. I mean, who knows? Who knows how it would have went. It was too early to tell, so I'm not going to bitch about it, even though I am bitching about it, but... Anyway... So yeah, just for those of you watching, if anyone's just joined in, oh, that's a nice draw. That's really nice. So thank you, Shards of Fate. Grab the blood, obviously. Yoink. So now I can only do the Buccaneer, which... Wait, what? Okay, no, they're just not highlighted. I can do them. They're just not highlighted. So let's see, what's the best move here? I can... Yeah, I think I'll Buccaneer... Because, yeah, I mean, I got the Extinction ready, so it will mean I'll lose him. Like, say he plays a, whatchamacallit next turn. I don't need a Buccaneer this, though. I mean, it will make it so maybe he doesn't play, he just plays this later on. So maybe it's best to just make him discard. Yeah, let's make him discard, because even a resource is a good discard this early in the game, because he might really need a 4th resource, if he doesn't have many in hand and he's discarded one and it's a diamond as well. So maybe he's got another diamond, so he's like, yeah, it's fine. But it still slows him getting to his 5 drops and all that, anything. It slows him down and potentially could slow down his next turn. So yeah, and I got flying blockers as well. If he does play out the Dreamer, I then bounce it back. So it gets me more delay, and then I can start swinging in for a little bit of damage. Itty bitty amount of damage. Oh boy, I'm so stressed. So there's the Dreamer. I figured he would. It's obviously a very problematic card. With that gem especially. But I mean, yeah. I mean, if I can get to turn 8 and he's not got resources open, and I can get this guy out. Not turn 8, but get to 8 resources. I can't think of anything he could do. Maybe he sideboarded in. I mean, he could he could send it back to my hand, but as long as I can replay it, then maybe I don't lose. Maybe because in a conflict obviously doesn't stop it from and I'll just be able to keep attacking and I don't take damage. I wouldn't attack with it; that would be too risky. That would be a no-no. So yeah, I just Buccaneer here. Yeah, I Buccaneer. Slow him down. I mean, I've got 2 resources. Unfortunately, I don't have another one, but this is, I think, my turn 5 anyway, so it's not, not really possible. But yeah, unfortunately, I'm probably gonna have to blow these up. But I mean, they're really just there to delay anyway. I've done this has done its good effect, this has done its good effect. If I can't use them offensively, I mean, that's too bad. Actually, I can use Graug, come to think of it. So that will actually allow me to get damage in. So that, I can actually do that next turn as well. So, say he plays the Dreamer out again, which is most likely going to happen, yep. So now the question is, do I play the Graug? Which is probably a yes. Because then I get 4 damage in. He doesn't untap, so then I get 4, 5, 6 damage in if he doesn't play out another troop. So then he's most likely going to play out another troop, and then I can Extinction at some point. I mean, I'll see what I draw. If I draw Persecute, then I will kill this, play out another Corpse Flyer, and keep this guy ready. Play him when I've got more on the board. Oh, perfect. So I get more on the board, and that really will annoy him. So that's I mean that's a very good, that's a nice draw, because that's gonna, again, this with the Grauk. Actually, I can also, again, I can push through damage. He's got no resources up, so he can't. So I get through 2 damage here. Next turn, I can possibly push through 6, and then followed by 8. So that's actually could be pretty. Actually, well, no, yeah. I mean, yeah, I push through 2 here. Next time I do the Grauk, this could be actually a quick game. This could very easily be a quick game. So it depends. I mean, if he can even play the Dreamer out. If he can't play the Dreamer out, then maybe he'll hold on to resources, and then I won't play this because it would be risky. So he's got a resource. So does he play the Dreamer out again? He does. So that's actually good. I mean, if I draw a Persecute, I'm going to be loving it. Because not only will I be able to kill it, so I get rid of the threat permanently, then I get another troop on the board, and then Grauk the next turn. Honestly, I could actually even just let this swing in. I could just add more to the board and rely on the Grauk to just win me the game, most likely. Because making it 4-4, not a big deal. I've always got the backup Extinction if my plan doesn't work. But yeah, so I could even play out... Wow. 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 Oh my god, he's going to be so annoyed. Oh my lordy. Oh my lordy. Yeah, this is probably game, because I pushed through another 4 damage. He's got no resources, and he might not be able to play that now. So I push through more damage. I don't know why it's actually... I must have clicked his name because it's gone into the tell thing anyway. Whew. So he's now down to 12. So if he hits if he's got another resource, then he can replay it again. But I mean, if all I need to do is play this, and then I win, most definitely. So I really don't think he's going to hit a resource, or he might not even. It might not be the best move to now replay it. I mean, that's really pretty brutal. Like if I had that happen to me, I'd just be like, "What the?" Like I've just got really lucky there. Like that's just 3 Buccaneers in a row, like drawing them. Pretty awesome. Yeah. What else can I say? Pretty beautiful. So even if he plays a troop, the Menacing Grauk, as long as if he leaves resources open, okay, so he's got a new one, so he can't counter magic. So I think I've actually won the game. Yep. Just say I think that might be GG. So because I think it is, because yeah, I'm going to push through. Yeah, no, it is. I mean, he's played out his hand. You can't counter magic, so I'll just, obviously I would like to finish the game, but hopefully he doesn't just quit when he sees the Grauk, but he might. So he's got a resource, so that actually may change things, because he could have Heroic Inspiration. Actually, no, it doesn't, because the Grauk will tap his troops. So yeah, I mean, even if he has Heroic, his troops are going to be tapped, and they'll stay tapped. So Grauk, I used to run 4... I used to run just 4 Masteries of Time, but Grauk is very good. Mastery of Time's good, but Grauk is good for when you've got troops on the board and your opponent's got like heaps of stuff on the board, as you saw last game. That won me the game. So I actually decided to do 2 Grauks and 2 Masteries of Time. Oh boy. So I got a Persecute as well, but yeah. Out he comes. So everything gets tapped. He cannot block. So that was some pretty awesome draws. So I kept that really risky 2 resource hand. And then just, yeah, heart of the cards. Heart of the cards. Why is it saying Fireblade and then a message? That's really weird. Hence the heart of the cards, buddy. It was lucky, but I believed. You gotta believe, guys. It's the most important way. The most important thing when playing a card game is you have to believe. If you don't believe, you've already lost the battle. So yeah, I mean, he didn't want to let me swing in. I mean, he could have maybe drawn something, but probably not. I don't think there's anything he could have drawn to turn that one around. So so he's not happy about that last game. He's really not. Not sure about that last game, he says. Never mind, GG. And oh boy. Alright, so I'm probably. Yeah, I've got a few minutes to stick around. I think my mates are back in the other room. I'm not sure. I'll have to go check. They haven't made any noise if they are there. Probably not. But yeah, I'm going to go watch a movie or something. If they are back. Which, yeah, I don't know if they are. But yeah, so I mean, that was. Yeah, I just honestly, that was that game there, the second one. Very good draws for me, especially with the menacing growl. You know, I kept a risky hand. I'm really glad I did. Sorry, because he has a space in his name. Okay. Thought we weren't supposed to do that. Oh, you mean the spaces in names? Yeah, no, that's something that they'll get people to change later on. But yeah, hopefully that was enjoyable for everyone. He didn't seem too happy about that last game. But I mean, it made up for the fact that I was in a pretty good position in that first game and it crashed. But anyway, so I mean, that's what my deck's designed to do. I mean, getting 3 Buccaneers in a row is not designed to do that. But it worked. It definitely worked. So really, that other game, the Grulk, winning both games thanks to the Grulk there. Whereas had I had a Mastery of Time, in that situation, it would have been helpful. But it wouldn't have. I don't think it would have. It wouldn't have guaranteed me the game. Whereas the Grulk there does, because it taps all his units. So then I push through damage, and then they don't untap. So it goes to his turn. Then he has to basically wipe the board. So because he doesn't have Extinction, because he's running Sapphire Diamond, there was really nothing he could do. Obviously, he had nothing in his hand because he did just tap out. So obviously, he had nothing he could do. Like no. I guess he didn't have any time ripples or just anything to get rid of stuff off the board. But anyway, so and another good thing I will mention is, as you can see in what I've got here, is I've got a lot of cards that really counter being bounced back to your hand. If you bounce this back, if your opponent bounces this back to your hand, sweet, you get to bounce something of theirs again. If they bounce this guy, well, sweet, you get to get another troop from their graveyard. If they bounce this guy, sweet, you get that effect again, and it's a really awesome effect, as you guys saw. They bounce this, and you get to make them discard again. So I mean, it really works really well against the Sapphire bounce cards. So I mean, maybe he had he wasn't main board time ripple, because I mean we never saw one, I don't think. So he probably maybe had that in sideboard, but that would have been a bad thing to sideboard in because of the cards I'm using. And then I've got this reoccurring guy that we'd hope to try and make room for on the field. Either by killing stuff with Persecute, and then he swings in and you get some cards. I mean, I have also used the champion that can give him flying, which is another way, give him evasion. But generally, with the way this deck works, you can make room for him. Grulk can also make room. Buccaneer can make room, and the Persecutes can make room. I mean, Extinction can make room. If you blow everything up, then you play him out, and then your opponent doesn't have more troops. You got stuff like that. And even if you've got him on the board and you extinct, he goes back to your hand and he increasing costs. So, I mean, I think it's a pretty good deck. Obviously it can't beat every deck. No deck can beat any deck. But yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty well against something that runs a decent amount of troops, and also you still got the counter magics. Also, it's having this on sideboard was pretty good, because had I got that out in that game, I don't think I would have been able to lose once I got this out. So even if I didn't win as quickly as I did, as long as I got him on the board, pretty sure, because all my opponent could have done is bounce it to my hand, and then I'd have to win in between that bounce. So, like, bounce it and then win, or I just get it out again, and, that sort of stuff. So, yeah, I think sideboarding in that, I could have done more sideboard changes, but that was the only thing I did. But I think it was, that was a pretty decent one, because, I mean, the first game, I ended up with, like, how many resources, I don't know. That game went on forever, so I mean, there's a pretty good chance that the game was I'd be able to delay out the game long enough, like the previous game. So yeah, I don't know if anyone's still watching or not, but So yeah, I won 2-0, so that's really good for me, because now I am at 6 points. So that puts me in front of You Dare You Take. So as long as I win, say for example, I'm against him tomorrow. That's my last matchup, I believe, is versus You Dare You Take. He's on 5 points, I'm on 6. And that's both of our last matchups. So if I win 2-0, then sweet, I'll be in the top 3. If he beats me 2-0, then he'll advance and I won't. But if I can win one game and he wins 2, then it's a draw. So then we'd probably have to play more matches to work out, who's going to be in the top 3, I would imagine. But yeah, I mean, I have no idea what he's going to be running. I probably should have a look to see what he ran in the last game, but he probably will change his deck. I mean, I probably will change mine as well, because, I mean, it's a very important match for both of us. So, yeah, who knows? Maybe I'll run this again. I mean, it worked pretty